This is me festering in the first class cabin on British Airways, flying from London Heathrow to Seattle, Washington. I'm thinking how best to start this video. Maybe I should start it toasting the camera so I look like a smug, pampered princess spent a lot of money on a flight. Or perhaps I could be a snobby food critic and poo poo the cuisine that was on offer. That seems to be a popular one. Actually, Tone, a few times you've offered a bit of context or a little bit of creativity in your openings, and you've been accused of being waffling and spewing and boring. So why don't you just give up and go home? This is the first time I have flown first class with British Airways from London Heathrow. I did fly once back from Atlanta last year, but interesting enough, I'm now starting to learn the differences. That was in the old school first class cabin. This one was one of the newer ones, which I think looks very much like they were the blueprint for the club suites that we know and love today. The main differences between the two are firstly the colour scheme. The older system has a white tinge to it, whereas the newer system has more of a sleek, chic black tint. There are much more modern control systems on the updated design. Thankfully, another improvement is the update to the kitch uh, divider between the two middle seats. Yes, the old system had this concertina type manual barrier, or I should say screen you could pull between you and the person sat next to you. Luckily, on the updated newer designs, it's a motorized one. Although I didn't actually know where the button was to control it, so rather awkwardly sat there with well into the flight with my wife the other side of the screen until the lovely attendant came. Oh, do you want to see your wife? Have you had an argument? I don't know. Let's ask her. So that's, and of course the lamp as well. You'll see the new lamp is very stylish, very well designed, and the old one, yeah, something you might find in your nan's kitchen. Kitchen, get it? So if you are traveling as a couple, you will see the longer screen when it's down. Feels like it's a lot more of an intimate space, certainly than the older one. Oh, I don't think it's quite there where you could actually divide the whole suite up, which I'm sure I've seen some of those first class flights do. But it's absolutely an improvement. A few other things to note: the television monitor is not, thankfully, that previous press the button to pop it out version, the pop out TV screen. No, it's integrated right in front of you, so that gives you enough breathing room to not feel that you've got the screen right in your face. It doesn't quite encroach on you as the older model did. I also noticed on this version that there were little wardrobes for all the seats, whereas the first time I went, there were only wardrobes. I say wardrobes, you can only hang maybe a shirt or a coat in there. There's only one hanger. But nonetheless, each of the cabins had one, or each of the suites had one. It was just the window seats on my first adventure, so that was nice to use. Perhaps the most important difference was the storage space. Wow, there was a ton of it. I could see how they basically took this design, nerfed it down to Club Suite, and it's absolutely loads. There's initially storage space by your head, a nice little cabinet, which isn't in the old one. That's usually they put their water or the headphones. There's the storage space to the right on the counter, as it were. That is also where your controls are and your charging points. We mentioned the wardrobe, the cupboard, the whatever it is. Also, at the bottom by there, you can lift up the seat rest thingy, and you will find another big space for you to put all your important things in, or not so important things. But either way, some big things can get in there. One final observation is that all the suites have sliding doors to create a safe space for you to have a sleep or a bit of privacy. It is a bit of a pain because if you close them too early, they've got to keep opening them to serve you food and so on, unless you've got really long arms and can reach over the top. I was a little bit unsure about when I did travel in Club World with the club version of these doors, because I did feel a teeny little bit claustrophobic. Maybe I'll have to try it again. But having a more spacious suite in first. Didn't feel slightly claustrophobic at all. Actually, it felt fine. But maybe I will have to revisit Club World and see how that stacks up. For anyone who's not travelled first class and is interested to see what you get with British Airways, you will receive a towelette. Of course, we always like a towelette when we get on the plane, first of all. No, you will get a selection of snacks, some crackers, some olives, and some nuts, and a choice of drink. Pretty much an open bar. Obviously, in business class, you'll usually just get champagne or water or juice or whatever. And in premium economy, you'll get sparkling wine or water. And in economy, you ain't getting nothing, pal. You ain't getting nothing. That is actually a brilliant way to start the flight because they give you so much more time to just enjoy some of the snacks, the drink. It's not like they come and take it off. They take it off just before you take off, so there is no rush, and a lovely way to ease yourself into a flight. The entertainment system is no different to the other class. I don't think they changed. They can't change the content, can they? Can't say no. I'm afraid only first class customers are going to get access to the latest Spider-Man film or whatever is showing. So, and actually, I didn't watch anything for the last. I want to say 5 flights. I've not watched anything. I've maybe played a couple of games, but not watched any films or TV. You know what you're gonna get though on a flight if the Wi-Fi and the entertainment system's working. We are off to the races. In terms of food, it's all quite flexible. It is of a higher standard. The ever reliable and sensational staff will come around with a menu. It is an extensive menu, and I say certainly better than economy, premium economy, and business. Although it's kind of still aeroplane food, but better aeroplane food than I've had before. On today's flight, I opted for the British Wagyu beef carpaccio to start, which was nice. Again, my old tip would be if there's something like salmon or smoked salmon or cooked beef or anything like that that doesn't have to be put through an oven, you will tend to find it a bit fresher and tastier in terms of digestion. And the main course, I went for the British Spring Lamb Duo. This was mixed bag. I think I can't remember. It was the one of them was beautiful and soft and melts in the mouth. The rack was firmer and without a steak knife for obvious reasons. It was difficult to cut using your bog standard British Airways knife. As we had flown from Heathrow and we were flying first and we were gold members, we could use the Concord room. So I didn't have any dessert. I'd already had dessert there. I went for the tried and trusted fromage, the cheese. The cheese is always the cheese. I didn't have any pork with it this time, no. On the light meal selection before we landed, more of a streamlined choice, just a couple for each or one for dessert, which was, I went for the Sag Paneer Scotch egg, which I thought was nice. And I then went for the ricotta and Yorkshire pecorino dumpling, which again was nice. I skipped the handmade profiteroles dessert. You enjoy a bar with lots of champagne, decent wine, white wine, red wine, rosé, the spirits, premium spirits, cocktails. I always quite like a cocktail on their port, whatever you want, but still don't get particularly decent beer. That's the only thing I would like to see improved. A few proper high-end craft beers would be on my wish list, British Airways. If you're listening, which I know you're not many people are. Look at the views! As is tradition, the British Airways first Jimmy Jams will be offered to you. This time, last time I thought it was a one size fits. I think it was Alison was asking me, talking about this. But they came along and said small, medium, or large. I said small. I am bloody not that fat on the way over, and they fitted me. Funny enough, on the way back, the guy said pajamas, medium. So that's right, medium. How dare you? Small. And then he kind of gave me a smile, and it's like, okay, no, I see what you're saying. Maybe you're just saying, right, that because I'm going to try and get a big sleep, I need something a bit more breathable. I think that's what he's saying. He certainly wasn't saying, you disgusting. Anyway, Cabin crew will prepare your bed for you while you go and brush your teeth, do your ablutions, and whatever else you need to do in the lavatories. Then you are all ready to get a little bit of kip before getting off the plane at Seattle and taking the town by the scruff of its neck. There's more to come on Seattle in due course. From what I hear, the British Airways first offering doesn't compare to the luxurious services on display in some of those high-end Middle Eastern air carriers, but I can't necessarily afford to go to those places. And I wasn't flying. I don't always go to Seattle. I don't know. They assume they don't fly Seattle. Maybe they do the wrong way. Somebody will correct me. But overall, I really enjoyed the experience. It is the best way to fly, other than a private jet. I would know. I've not been on a private jet. The space of the cabin, the ambience of the cabin, having such a small dedicated team who are, of course, always brilliant, is just it makes such a difference. It takes completely de-stresses every aspect of the travel experience. Being sat back in economy, clawing at people to get to the toilet, or eating the absolute slop that sometimes is served, is whilst having some stinky person spreading themselves over your. No, okay, that's why don't fly economy anymore, is it? Don't fly economy, Tone. British Airways are, of course, rolling out a new and even newer configuration for the first class seating. It's supposed to be starting this year, I think. I imagine it might take a while to get around the entire network. Certainly, I can see that the flight we did last year from Atlanta had the old first class design, so it may well be a long time before any of us get to experience. Most people don't experience first class anyway, let alone the up-to-date first class cabin. But hopefully one day, and I'll be able to make a video on it comparing it to the old one. But my top tip to anyone who thinks that first class is just completely unattainable, I'm saying you need to make sure you check. Just look. There's no harm in looking, because sometimes, occasionally, it happened to me with the flight from Atlanta last year, and it happened to me with these flights, is that they can sometimes be the same price, or roughly, as premium economy. And indeed, obviously, business class was slightly cheaper in this scenario, but I decided to go for the luxurious things and treat myself and my wife. But yeah, definitely do that research, because you don't want to miss out on those things. Or even if not the first class thing, if you just check the prices in this scenario, the cheapest flight outside of economy, the cheapest flight would have been a business class flight. So do your research, and please don't make sure you miss out on some relatively good pricing. So yeah, I do like British Airways first. I am getting a bit of a taste for it, which is a worrying thing, because obviously I can't afford to get too much of a taste for it. But thank you everyone for watching. I'm just going to let the algorithm suggest a video for you to watch. It knows better than me. It doesn't seem to be suggesting my videos to anyone anyway, so I'll just let fate take its course. Thank you